that he will use it. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. We're going to find out together with Moxie and Jenkins.
All right, Jenkins. This is going to be an exciting match. We've got Taiga up against some old teammates here. And of course, you know, AMMAR's been real spicy recently, talking a lot of trash in those pubs.
Yeah, but he's on Dragon Knight this game, so probably going to be a bit less of a flashy performance from him.
You say that, but you never know.
I do like the DK pick a lot for the OG draft. I felt like they lacked Disable, they lacked a bit of initiation and a frontliner, so it kind of checks all of those boxes, despite being a hero that's, you know, not what it once was in terms of being OP. It fit the draft really well.
Well, sometimes it's not all about the style points. It's about, you know, what fits the draft. Sometimes it's the more boring option, but it's the most efficient option.
And going for a bit of a smoke play here. Both teams 5-manning at level 1. You know, the carry does often run this way on Radiant.
30 seconds to battle.
So they may be able, if they stay here, they may be able to get Matumba. Depends if they want to camp or not.
That is the question. They're getting into position here. How do you feel about the Shadow Demon? Because I know I saw that in the draft and I was like, that seems very strange to me when you've got a troll, rather picking up the troll as that last pick.
You know, the troll, I feel like it does really well in, it's like a lane dominator. It's something that I think Storm and Troll function like entirely differently as heroes. So you cover a lot of your bases, like Troll scales, he does that right click, you know, physical damage scaling into the late game. Storm was more of like a pick-off hero, magical damage. So it just felt like an all-around decent hero for the draft.
And nice words.
But
is it just like timing-wise sort of thing, like one?
You know, they both have like mid to late game timings. It was probably just like a, you know, what do you feel like playing? You know, give me Troll. Looks
yes,
fine.
I'm sure it was that casual.
Honestly, that like a lot of the time, that is actually how it is.
Okay.
It's just like, what do you feel comfortable with? Like, we already have a pretty well-rounded draft. Like, just give us like what you feel like playing right now. Dead serious. I've heard tons of teams talk that way.
We have the usual lineup here. I feel like we always see some form of the Spirit Brothers facing off in that mid lane. Of course, the Storm Spirit not quite as popular as we've seen more of the Void, more of the Ember, but do have that matchup going on, which seems to be becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, Stormer's definitely good. It's got a pretty high win rate pro level pubs, getting picked a lot more. People are going for that Soul Ring, which lets you be active early, which allows you to match the kind of same pace that Ember and Void Spirit has. That's kind of one of the advantages of picking Ember or Void over Storm, at least in the past, was that you could be active around that like 6-minute rune timing. Whereas with Storm, it was kind of like you didn't have enough mana for it. But now with the buffs to his ult and Soul Ring, he is able to do that.
Pretty quiet though otherwise, mostly just some harass seeing that Misha's throwing out the disruption, trying to just be annoying over mostly towards Boxi here.
It's an interesting build from Zai. Just straight up Wraith Band, no Quelling Blade, nothing like that. Wants that extra armor. They did buff it recently.
I feel like we've been seeing more and more of these Wraith Bands getting picked up.
Yeah, first item is just interesting. Then again, like, it does make sense because supports are just like spamming regen on their cores now, and especially when you have an IO who is going to be getting a headdress and, you know, giving you essentially infinite regen. The more stats you have, the better. So you don't need those tangos really themselves.
So, water runes are getting picked up here by both of the Spirit Brothers. Again, fairly static. I don't think we're going to be seeing any movement until an action rune comes out or until we start seeing those level 6s come out. But a little bit of tagging here between iNsania and Taiga. We've been watching on Twitter. They've been having a lot of fun poking at each other. I believe there was a picture of iNsania pointing to, I think it was something to the effect of like target Taiga, but I think it looked like a J. So, you know, maybe his evil twin, Jaiga.
They were giving each other shit in the lobby too.
But you love seeing it,
talking
though,
about
right?
Yeah, talking about the colors. It's like, oh, Taiga's always in that bottom position on the team. That brown, that orange color.
That's such a weird thing to tease each other.
Dude, it is a thing with Dota players, though. It's like, you never want to be the bottom guy.
Yeah. Taiga, though, taking a lot of damage, gets the hop off on iNsania, but he is going to be the first blood.
I feel like that's a big reason that they picked up Troll, just that ability to dominate the lane. You see that there's a Snapfire, And you know that with Troll plus Lion, you have enough slow and nuke that you can always kill the Snapfire on the side of the lane. Even if like some offlaner gets picked where Troll is not necessarily very good against it.
Yeah, because with the Dragon Knight, generally speaking, you're not going to see a lot of aggression come out against him because he's very tanky, but the Snapfire. Misha gets clicked down here by Boxi. Back off of Yuraghi. But yeah, no, the Snapfire, you know, you have the cookie hop, and that's about it. And it's not a lot of distance that puts between you and the enemy when you use it. And a lot of times it's used to be an initiating if you're going to go forward, so.
Yep, Snapfire, if you pull the lane back as a 5 and you force Snapfire to play in the jungle against you, then the carry can just run over, and with most supports you can kill Snap. That's like the easiest way to punish her. If you put her with a +1, she's really strong because of the cookie and because of the minus armor. But if she's on her own, she's killable.
Yuraghi having to pop that refraction as I jumps forward. iNsania, again, it's these two. They're just poking away at each other. So they know that Taiga's on his way over to this mid lane. miCKe sitting a little low here. Cookie out forward. We'll get the stun. They will protect BZM. Taiga may die for this, though. In fact, he will. As down he goes here in the mid lane.
So BZM did have 8 stick charges, but with 3 heroes mid, still nice to save him like that.
Oh my god, yeah.
He just popped. Okay.
We can still do this. Money changes hands.
Yeah, that's a solid tip when your 5 is just solo killing the offlaner. I suppose that's the problem with buying no regen when you have a Wisp.
When your Wisp is not there.
When the Wisp is not there, yeah.
I mean, that was very smart, right, on the side of OG to recognize that Boxi's not here, so let's start stacking up that Shadow Poison.
Yeah.
Start giving them the clicks.
I think with the nerfs to DK's passive, you probably can actually kill him in this lane. Even if he hits level 5, like there is always kill threat on him. It's not exactly how it used to be. It's really just a stunner.
BZ, oh, he wants this. He uses those remnants, goes a little bit further, gets the slide off. This cracks me up because we call this the NA special usually, when you use all of your remnants in the mid lane when you hit 6 to get the kill.
Right now, and I'm lagging.
Surprised that nobody made their way over, but I guess they just teleported, right? So
I don't even think there's any saving him. It would just be like a return kill, which, you know, would be decent, but it's Ember. Like, if he has Flame Guard up, it's really difficult to kill him, even if you TP in there and he's low HP. So you have to right-click him to death, which hard to do at this point.
We have a TP coming up top. Zoom in here. miCKe's here. He wants a kill on Misha. Gonna go right into the trees, drag back. That shield crash off. One more hit. miCKe will collect the kill on Misha. Teleports are coming out though. Taiga making his way over, but BZM made his way to the top lane. The cookie hop back over onto Zai. They'll take down Zai. They want miCKe too. Can they get there in time though? He's used up a lot of that mana. BZM, he wants this kill. It's just going to chase after them. It's a slow chase. He's taking too much tower damage. Taiga throwing out the scatter blast will connect over onto 2 and slow them down. But BZM, he's sitting very, very low right now. Does not have any more regen, so he is going to have to back off. Meanwhile, Matu and AMMAR, they're having a good time. They're high-fiving each other. Nice quiet lane, gentleman's agreement. Can't really kill each other at this point.
Yeah, so, you know, I said that with the Dragon's Blood passive being nerfed, you can definitely kill AMMAR here, but he actually is going for a Helm of Iron Will, which when DK was being picked up as a hero, this wasn't the build. So I feel like if you're going Armlet DK, maybe it does actually put him back to that state of like being unkillable, because it is a lot of armor and regen.
Again, another move here. BZM joining in, has his eyes on Zai. Big melt strike coming out, need a little bit more damage. Zai will die.
Actually doesn't matter.
Even a master falters.
I like that BZM stayed in the area there. That's one of the nicest things that a mid laner can do, is just like be off map. And you know, you gank a lane and then you kill it again, and then all of a sudden you have this hero that has no TP scroll. Zai, 24 seconds. He's gonna have to walk back to lane. That is massively gonna delay his level 6 on Pangolier. That's an important, really important timing this game.
That definitely doesn't feel good whenever you have to do the walk shame back to lane.
Yeah, especially right before your most important timing, which is level 6.
Zip up here. Double damage does get snapped up by iNsania as they find a kill on Taiga over in the bottom rune spot. miCKe, though, is getting chased down. Lots of damage over onto BZM. They have to watch out. Matu in the vicinity, making his way over. Throws out the slow with the axes. BZM turns back around. It's just going to sidestep because in comes Boxi. And this is looking like Misha's going to have to pay for this here.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff win.
Dude, that is a classic Matu. Just like, he's just mid for some reason. You're like, what the hell is the troll carry doing here?
No one expects the position one to gank mid.
But it's such a good rotation because there's also a catapult alive here. So pairing these heroes up, it means that OG has to respond with a bunch of heroes just sitting mid, and they get a lot of chip damage, they get a kill. They have to TP in the Shadow Demon to fill the bottle. Yeah, amazing rotation from Liquid. That was good stuff. You really rarely see the carry rotate like that.
I think the only time you usually see a carry rotate like that is Eternal Envy. He just shows up randomly.
Yeah, honestly.
But that's just EE Dota.
And Matu. Like, those are
the two that come to mind.
Matu's really good at identifying when he needs to be the hero that's pressuring towers. And like, sure, you lose your tower to a DK, but clearly in this game, he has just identified that, okay, I'm the only tower damage. My other two cores are Pangolier and a Storm Spirit. So if I'm not hitting towers, even though I really like to farm, we're not going to get any towers. So I have to sack my game a bit and do that.
All right, we'll get the drag back immediately, though. Ember running away. Taiga is left behind. Misha trying whatever he can to try to help out a little bit, but they're going to run that forward. Can they get a kill on iNsania? Yes, they can. But the follow-up with a really nice Earth Spike. Can they get the kill on Taiga? The Rolling Thunder coming on through. They'll kill BZM, and they'll protect their stack.
That's using it as a bait, really.
Mars here, though. Mar gonna challenge it, gets a lot of those last hits. Very tanky.
My boy's got a full armlet already.
He's a big boy, this Ammar, the friendo. Zai joining in, Boxi giving the click. Ammar's here.
He is very slow with just an armlet. That is one issue.
Got some cookies to put some pep in a step, right?
That disarm is such a pain in the ass this game.
It's always a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but
the worst is when Pango was mid and he would just disarm you. Like, how is that allowed?
Yeah, it's one of those things that like it turns every matchup. I know that Pango does fairly well versus TA mid, and as we could see in this game, and the safe lane does decently as well. Just because you can disarm her. So it's like she meld strikes you, gets that minus armor, and then all of a sudden she's not getting any extra hits on you.
Stacks are being taken, though, by Yuraghi as well. So, looking pretty nice in terms of net worth. A little bit behind here for Yuraghi, not where you want to be as the position one, but not too far behind, as pretty much neck and neck with the Storm Spirit and the DK.
I suppose another argument behind Troll as a hero in this game, even though, as we talked about, the SD is a decent counter because of the kiting potential, is that I don't know if you've ever played TA versus Troll, but it is one of the more frustrating matchups. He just presses ult on you. You can meld strike him as much as you want, but he's just going to perma you and be full HP, and he'll kill you through as many refraction charges as you want to spam. Like, you're just never surviving a Troll, and then you also have that missed chance. So it is a really good matchup, Troll versus TA.
And the 1v1, but like when you look at what they have on board on the side of OG, it is like the one problem with Troll is that if you can control him in any way, if you can disrupt him, if you can halberd him, like, he just becomes kind of, I don't want to say useless, because it's not useless, but his ulti just doesn't feel good.
In the games that he looks bad, he looks dog shit. Like, that's how Troll works as a hero. And in the games that he looks good, like, he looks like literally the best carry in the game. It's just 1 to 100, you know?
Well, they went with the smoke play over to the triangle. They dropped some vision, but haven't quite found a target yet. Although I would say BZM, perhaps they'd like to make some moves on him, but they'd have to dive a little bit. I don't think they're quite ready for it. Yuraghi, again, this is the nice thing about TA, does have those psionics blades that are going to be able to spill over and just allow him to farm faster.
Yeah, and Matu, to kind of keep up with that farming pace that's naturally going to come out of the TA, he's getting a Battle Fury. And
getting close to it, too.
I think it's the right play. You know, it's so interesting because you'd think, like, some guy that's getting a Battle Fury obviously wants to farm, right? But he's been the one that's pressuring towers. iNsania is just getting solo killed.
The tips comes out.
That's
a little bit of rivalry, I would say. The drag back over onto AMMAR. It's gonna take a couple heroes to try to get this kill though. Toggling quite well, zipping forward again, a couple more clicks. The Rolling Thunder comes in, and it's gonna be Boxi who actually gets the final hit. Cookie up forward, they're a little bit off the mark now. And like we said, Misha's just able to go throw him in that little bubble, and they disengage just like that. Zai jumping in though, Misha, Taiga nearby, doesn't have that cookie up for another couple seconds. He's gonna try to slow them down just a little bit, but they'll find the kill on Matu thanks to the poison. Misha will fall, they'll find another kill on Taiga. Zai gets himself a double kill.
Interesting call from Matu to chase there, like knowing the BCM is obviously in the area and that you're low HP. He just trusted his IO to keep him alive, and unfortunately he did the math a little bit wrong, where he probably got overkilled by like 50 damage there or something like that from the Ember Sleight of Fist. But it's interesting that Matu's like, oh, they used everything. I'm gonna run in, and BCM's like, all right, freebie, I'll take the enemy carry for free. Sounds good to me.
Don't mind if I Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
Only about a 1K net worth lead going over to the side of OG right now. Currently, TA has overtaken the net worth by just like 800 gold. Not crazy amounts, but that death on the troll definitely put him a little bit behind here.
Yeah, Yuraghi is not getting pressured at all, and on Liquid, there's a troll that's running at all of the towers, running at every team fight, trying to farm a Battle Fury and dying. So definitely, if you're OG, you're cool with this. This game feels good. Like, you know that you've been 4v5ing the entire game, and your TA is just flash farming, and she's gonna hit that Desolator and all of a sudden become significantly stronger, and maybe then show up to a fight, and instead of a 4v5, you got a 5v5. It's not gonna look so good for Liquid.
I mean, it's not that bad. Like, if you look at the net worth right now, Troll's already caught up. Like, it's not that huge of a difference.
The net worth is not, but it's more so the fact that, like, you're 4v5ing the entire game and still keeping up on OG.
Yeah, you always want to be ahead if possible. You don't want to just be breaking even.
Yeah. Old Tumby does have his Battle Fury now, though, so that means he's going to be speeding up on the farm as well.
Mm-hmm.
The item timing that I think Matumba wants to play for is probably like Battle Fury, Yasha, BKB, and then they're really strong to take a fight, and then I think every item after that is pretty important. The fights that he showed up to so far have been kind of out of like necessity or convenience, like they're just near, they're just happening, or like he wants to pressure a tower, but it's not really been around any item timing in particular.
Blink Dagger picked up on AMMAR now. He's going to be able to help jump into these fights and initiate. Smoke play coming out from OG. They know exactly where they are. Making their way over, but they have their own smoke over on the side of Liquid as they're going to back out. iNsania left behind, BCM walking right in front. Misha just going to casually throw out a little bit of the blink forward here from AMMAR, but it was a bait. They go right back in with the Rolling Thunder. Nice disruption though, buying them a little bit more time thanks to Misha, but it's not enough as AMMAR does eventually melt here as Matu just starts wailing away on everyone. Root holding into place as if they coming in from miCKe. They'll find the kill on Misha as now they'll throw those long-range Snapfire kisses, and miCKe taking a lot of damage. Yuraghi joining back, but Zai, they want this kill on the Pango. They got to move a little bit faster. They'll hold him in place. A Scatter Blast, just a little bit more damage. Cookie up forward, and down will go the Pangolier.
So that was a literal 1-for-1, I'm pretty sure. That was a 5 in an off lane for a 5 in an off lane.
Ooh, the reload coming in hot here. miCKe needs some help as they'll try to make the plays over to Yuraghi. They found themselves Taiga instead.
I'm really impressed.
Purge is in the back room right now going, my stonks are going up.
He paid them.
Did he?
He paid iNsania.
Is that it? Is that the master way to advertise yourself?
I think so.
You can't buy that line anymore, though, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's true. That's why they're spamming it.
Just to frustrate.
Just to frustrate.
Excellent. Yeah. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I'm behind that. This was a really nice team fight from Zai. I love that they like walk iNsania in first and he just presses all of his buttons, then he dies pathetically as a 5. Like, good, that's it, you did your job. Zai counter initiates, kills AMMAR, and then also hits the final stun onto Misha. It ends up being a 1-for-1, but I think considering you get smoked into, and that's the reveal of the Deso on TA, you're pretty happy with that for Liquid.
Oh boy, we just saw this fight, didn't we?
Yeah, this is the same fight.
Well, Misha's gonna die. They'll buy back. They want to get back in AMMAR. He's a tanky boy, but is he tanky enough to zip forward again? There's gonna be a Yule. Buys a little bit more time. AMMAR trying to tackle. Get the call over onto Zai. They're trying so hard to kill this dragon. They'll eventually find it, but they'll end up losing Boxi and Matu in the process. And they'll find themselves one more kill. miCKe, you stayed a little bit too long, my friend.
All right, well, AMMAR found a way to make Dragon Knight interesting and high skill. You just buy an armlet, and you toggle like 3 or 4 times in the fight. He ends up dying, but there's so much committed to him that they just wipe Liquid. They just kill everybody else in the downtime.
That's gonna open up the Roche. With a Deso on a TA, you're doing some massive amounts of damage. You're gonna be able to get yourself an Aegis real easy like, especially when the enemy team was all dead for the most part. Yeah. And that's an Aegis. Immortality for Yuraghi.
Yep, he is looking real scary on TA. He's getting close to the Aghanim Scepter. Once he has that, we have seen what Yuraghi can do with this hero. You'd think that this is for farming across the map, but I feel like I see him farming heroes more than I see him farming creep waves when he picks that up. It's like OG, they really up the tempo when they get this item on TA, and the Aegis basically guarantees that they're going to get to it. And I think the last time we saw OG get up an Aegis on Yuraghi when he was playing TA, they did this similar thing where they just kind of farmed with it. They just used it as like, you know, you want to go on us, you're fighting into an Aegis, so we're just going to free farm the entire map because you're scared.
That's the idea, is to make them play into you. Be allowed to do, or rather, be allowed to do. Boy, my English, whew, been hanging out with you too much.
Too many diet sodas,
Too many diet sodas. Oh God, the Jenkins juice. No, but like that's the idea, right? Is that you want them to play into you and to just be able to do whatever you want. Like, be allowed to just free farm the map, and if they want to make any moves on it, they can. Otherwise, they have to let you continue doing what you're doing.
Sometimes the pressure is on with an Aegis where, like, you know that the late game is just out of your favor. And so you have to, you have to go end. Oh, they're Yule Sceptering here. They have another Yules on Taiga. They've got 2 Yules so far, which, good Yules game. Best way to deal with the Troll, honestly. It's a very frustrating item for Troll. He ults, you just double Yules him. He feels very sad.
Indeed.
Storm Orchid as well.
Popping a couple traps. See some movement coming out from the side of OG. It's like they want this mid tower, and they're trying to find the right angle on it. AMMAR gonna take down some of these wards, help himself to a creep. And yeah, I mean, like you said, they could just farm with this, but they can also take a mid tower on their way through.
Yeah, this is another one of those like convenience plays where it's a tier 1 tower. It's just easy to take. You have a catapult there too, and you know that if you just slowly poke here with Yuraghi, I mean, how are you going to kill an Aegis TA? And even if you do it, like, how are you going to kill him a second
twice time? Exactly.
Yeah, with the team to back him up, like it's just impractical to defend it. So they take the freebie. Liquid doesn't defend it. I think that's the right choice.
We have a Blink Dagger coming out for Taiga now, so even better positioning in a lot of these fights, because that can be a problem for the Cookie Grandma.
Yeah, once you have Blink plus Shard on Snapfire, it's like she not only becomes this like support hero with minus armor and Mortimer's Kisses for team fights, but she's like an instant disabler, and that's pretty nice. It gives you the ability to like pick people off across the map. And I mean, they already have that ability with Dragon Knight, but what better way is there to play Snapfire? It's just such a solid build.
They are about to have their own global presence, as TA does have herself an Ag Scepter. But before we get to that point, we will end up losing Misha here in the bottom lane as Liquid just rolls on through.
It's one of the most like not flashy things, but highest impact plays that we've seen from both sides of this game, where the 5 position just kind of like walks in and tanks the initiation. Because you're dead for 40 seconds. I think that might have been like a buyback death or something from the previous fight, but
yeah, Misha bought that.
Still, like you're almost always gonna have buyback as a 5. Your death timer is the shortest. You can just walk in, like press all of your spells, and then also like if your 5 is dead and the enemy team overextends, you can still fight. Like, that is not necessarily true if your Dragon Knight dies or if your Ember Spirit dies, for example. Like, they go for a smoke after their 5 dies.
EZM throwing out the hole, the follow-up the Snapfire Kisses, and miCKe's just evaporated.
The mysteries.
They want more too. OG, you can see the way that Liquid is immediately moving into the tree line. So trying to make some space, and they're trying to get out of there in a hurry. It looks like OG should be able to put some pressure on this top tower. Everybody's already left the area for the most part. Boxi just hiding in the tree line. No one's gonna look for you, little ball light.
OG, they are... I'm surprised that they're not going for the top tower, but it is an interesting call. Oh, there they go. Never mind. JK.
Cast your curse.
Because it is pretty free. You know, you can just walk in and start hitting it. 20 seconds left on the Aegis.
I mean, this is nice too, right? You take down this tower, this opens up the triangle for the side of OG. It's gonna make it more difficult for Liquid because Troll still wants to continue to just hit creeps, and if you're taking away the safety net, well, you might be able to take out Taiga instead. Rolling Thunder, that's a dead Taiga, and now they don't have to worry so much as they're still looking for a bit more. Zai zipping forward here, followed up with miCKe. Puts the disruption out, trying to buy BZM a little bit more time, does have that BKB. So he's gonna just have to remnant his way out of this fight and use the BKB defensively.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a rough time for Taiga to get caught out there. I think you probably assume that there just isn't a ward right there because that's a weird place for Radiant to have a ward, like in their own triangle. It's super smart to ward there because then when you leave and, you know, there is this smoke that happens into your triangle, like you have vision into it, and exactly that happens. But Taiga, like the Aegis was just despawning, so it means that OG, they have to immediately go into evacuate mode, which results in BZM using his first BKB charge to just escape for almost nothing, for almost no cost to Liquid. Which is not what you want from that first BKB.
Definitely not. You want to make plays happen, you want to get some kills, and you want to get an objective. So Liquid striking at the perfect time and making the Ember a little sad here.
Yeah, and old Tumby's got his BKB fully picked up here, so...
Old Tumby. That's all I can think of whenever you say that.
Sajin Yasha as well, so he's got that status resist. Unfortunately, not so good against the Yule Scepter, but with BKB, it is. So they smoke up with this.
AMMAR in position, Taiga as well to break any sort of smoke. So we'll walk into Matumba. Just back off, pop a trap.
Yeah, that was dank positioning. And he was right next to the ward too, so Taiga knows that like he's gonna get vision of them before they see him there. Yeah, no, very nice from Taiga.
Oh, and no one's showing up in the lanes. You have to assume they're on their way somewhere. EKB now for the TA. I think they'll probably be looking for a fight soon. Blink Dagger picked up now for the Lion, so even better positioning, better initiation, whatever it is that he needs to do for the side of Liquid. This Lion is ready for it.
Yeah, now at this point, you're getting closer and closer to the point of the game where the 5 walking in and feeding becomes less valuable. Because if iNsania has a Blink Dagger, then it means that he can get off multiple rounds of spells and multiple rounds of stuns going into the late game, while heroes have a ton of damage to do in those stuns, and so you actually become a scaling hero so long as you can get in and out of the team fight. So now I think his BKB heroes can probably walk in first, and we're going to see a lot more kind of man mode, like running in like a crazy person from Matumbaman, which he was trying to do in that last fight, but unfortunately for Liquid, Taiga just was there.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Just gonna clear up a couple more stacks here with Boxi. Everybody's just waiting very patiently now, just pushing out waves, continuing to farm. What's our next big item timing that you think we're gonna see? Because we have a lot of BKBs across the board, like we said, but is it just all centering around the timing of Roche right now?
Honestly, it's like, yeah, Roche matters. I mean, you've Storm on one side, so like Roche is definitely going to matter for Storm. It's not the greatest on Troll because like you're just going to die and then pop your BKB and ult afterwards. It's really just like who can initiate, who can take the better fight. One fight for either team and this game goes completely south for the other team.
One fight just to crack it all open.
Seriously, it really feels that way. Like both of the cores on both sides, Matumba and Yuraghi, are so huge that I think if they get a good initiation, like, they're just going to get an ultra kill. Either of these two heroes.
Yeah, right now Yuraghi 5-0-5, having a perfect game. Old Tumby, though, over here, 5-2-6. Nothing to sneeze at. Is actually taken over the net worth at this point as well. So, been farming up a storm. Both of them just very formidable. Taiga blinking forward. He wanted that kill. Have to be careful, though. Zai rolling on through. Gonna take a couple hits, gonna try to jump through, but again, they have the BKB, and all of a sudden, Matumbaman, he's here. Zai, ooh, that last hit might fit him up, but he's gonna go. They're up into the Yule, follow up with the Snapfire kisses. The Zips coming out from miCKe. They want that kill. It's a good savior, though, coming out from Misha. They need to get some more lockdown for this troll. He's already out of the storm using that BKB. They're just going to leave the area on the side of Liquid.
All right, so nothing happened. Very nice. Yeah, that was a nice little execution there from Zai, keeping himself alive and starting that fight. Not exactly the best place to fight for either team because it's towards the bot area, and you know that Roche is probably respawning soon. And so you want to fight around the Roche pit, but, you know, like I said, both of these teams feel like they've been on the cusp of, you know, team wiping for the entire game, and all they need is, like, to kill one hero, and then I think either carry can snowball and chase and like kill a bunch of heroes here. So both teams feel this this pressure that, like, okay, we could like blow this game wide open at any moment.
They're trying to find this opening here on the side of OGB. ZM will get revealed, does throw out the shackles, goes in through again, has the BKB, the scatter blast coming out from Taiga. Cookie out forward, that'll be no Boxi to help Matu out in this fight. They're gonna try to fight through, rolling thunder. Again, another save coming out here for Misha on himself this time. Although he is silenced up, and they're finding this opening. Can they get the kill over onto Misha? iNsania sitting very, very low. They'll kill iNsania first. Misha next to follow, but Zai taking a lot of damage. There's gonna be buybacks coming out from both of these support heroes. Yuraghi hiding in the melt, waiting patiently. Boxi rejoining here with this relocate. Wants to try to help out. Matu's sitting a little bit low. They'll be able to go and pop Matu as they'll turn right back around again. This score is looking very sick, but Misha comes back in with the save. Can they keep Yuraghi alive is the question. He's gonna make it out. They're gonna high five all the way through. They kill Boxi. They team wipe Liquid, and they get the Roche all for themselves.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, like, it could have gone. Oh, wait.
Thanks for kind and nice.
I mean,
Oh no! Imagine you just survived that fight. The hard work that Misha put in during that fight to watch your core die to Roshan.
well, I'm just thinking you're 5-0-9 against this new Liquid.
His only death is to Roshan.
You're feeling yourself, and if frickin' AI, an NPC kills you, like, that sucks.
It's okay. BZM will happily help himself.
Don't mind if I do.
This, you know?
It's like, Yuraghi, you don't get the shard. I'm not saving this for you. I don't trust you anymore.
Dyers don't get to have a shard.
Yeah, Boxi being killed first there is the absolute most important thing for OG, because otherwise he can, like, relocate save, he can, you know, he can heal save somebody. Like, iNsania could be alive here, for example, if the IO was alive. He does buyback, though.
He reloads in, and he tries to...
It's like at the last second, though. I think he's able to come back alive, and Yuraghi's so close to dying here. But Matumba had to pop his BKB really early, so when you see him die there,
look at Misha, like the perfect timing, right? Throws up the refraction, he's disarmed, and he still makes it out.
Oh yeah, we'll cut it there. Yeah, we'll go back.
Nothing
cut
else
it there.
happened. It's fine.
It's like, God damn it, Yuraghi. You're rank 6. Stop dying to NPCs.
All right, 12K net worth lead. We have an Aegis online for OG. Technically, he still has not been killed by the enemy team, though, Yuraghi. You know? I don't know if that's impressive or depressing. When
I agree with that. I don't think Roshan's an enemy, because you go into his house and start fighting him, and he fights you back, and it's like, oh, he's an enemy. He's
you're
fighting
robbing
us.
him, you know?
You're literally murdering him.
Yeah.
And then robbing him. The murdering, to me, is probably worse.
I should think so, yes.
Not a fan of murder.
That's good to know. Thank you for clearing that up for us, Jenkins.
OG absolutely murdering Team Liquid here.
They're looking very powerful. These are guys that drank their gamer juice this morning. Liquid feeling
They're
a little...
Red Bull, because that's what OG is sponsored
Yes,
by.
that is their gamer juice of choice. Liquid, though, they're, I mean, you still, Matu's, you know, despite everything, still top of the net worth, still very powerful. It's just these fights are going so sideways for them. And a lot of the times it feels like they're just not prepared. OG is bringing the fight to them, and they're being very aggressive.
And we're seeing in these fights exactly why people are so critical of Troll as a hero. It's that there are just a lot of strong things in the game, you know, heroes, concepts, items that exist to kite Troll. And like, sure, he does this absolute immense amount of damage if he can get on top of you. That's a big if. That's a big if. You know, you have a Snapfire Cookie, you have Shadow Demon in prison, you have Force Stabs, you have the Purge, Dual Scepters, just so much.
Figured someone was coming here for Zai, but...
Who's baiting who, though?
That is the real question, because I think they're just gonna leave. I don't think they want this yet. Look at this. They're out of there. So nice little play, right? Coming out from Liquid, forcing out some TPs. They know that they want to be very aggressive, but the reload, of course, you know, that is going to be on cooldown. They'll have to keep that in mind.
Visibility.
So how does Liquid make OG play into them? Right now it feels like they just want to avoid it at all costs, right? Because they have an Aegis, they've got this lead. What's the play here?
So the play, and I clicked his eye to see, because immediately when you're like, well, you know, what do they do? I look at the TA and I think like, okay, Yuraghi needs to be dealt with, but I don't think they're killing him because there's too much save coming out from OG. So Zai has a Heaven's Halberd, they're gonna Halberd Yuraghi, and then I think they need to kill the SD, because otherwise SD is going to kite your Troll, and Troll can't do anything. Like, Troll can 1v5 if he doesn't get kited, but that's tough. So I think you need to kill the kiting heroes, but during that, you can't just die to Yuraghi, so that's where the Heaven's Halberd comes in on Zai.
Smoked up over on the side of OG. He's trying to get some information. Will find themselves Matu. Hold him into place. Back off a little bit. AMMAR getting into position. The IO coming in. We'll be able to save him. He's going to end up paying for this with his life. So Matu does go to the tower.
Yeah,
so
Liquid wants to fight.
Hoping to catch them off guard. Just a plonk right on Boxi. Bless effing chat.
How fast do you think AMMAR was like spamming his stun on the IO relocate?
I like to think he's a cool guy, just kind of casual. He's like, oh, I know exactly the time.
No. That kid was spamming it. He was 1,000 APM. I can tell you that much.
All right. Aegis does get reclaimed, so Liquid has managed to outlast that. Be a little bit less scary getting into these fights. But the fight is coming to them. They've got the Deso, they've got the damage, got full Daedalus over on Yuraghi. So these towers are crumbling.
Radiant top tower just got...
Oh, and there's a double damage rune in the top area.
They see miCKe because they have that nice circle.
Look at the way they circle like a bunch of sharks. miCKe didn't even get a chance to be alive there. Chum in the water, my friend.
He's sitting there thinking like, why is the outpost vision so large? How did they see me? There's a ward on it. They see you.
This is a good ward.
Yeah, the warding has been really nice from both sides. Just placing wards like in a place that would be defensive usually, but when you're ahead, you know that the enemy team wants to like farm into your area. So it becomes like an aggressive ward the more ahead you are. That's it's not an easy distinction to make when you're a support, because like if you're warding defensively, or if you're trying to ward aggressively, and you end up putting one of these wards down that's like inherently defensive, and then you're not ahead like you think you are, then it's just a defensive ward and your team flames you. It's like, dude, where's the aggressive wards? But in this game, it is an aggressive ward.
Well, gave them enough information to make a nice play there. Does feel a little hard though right now for OG to go forward, and we did just see the Heaven's Halberd is completed now for Zai. So they'll have to find the angle though to make it work. That is going to be the tricky bit. These movements have been very, very nice this game.
I feel like they need a second one because I guess on OG, there's just so many heroes that need to be dealt with before Yuraghi. So many kiting heroes. Like,
Yeah.
you have to kill Snap. You probably want to kill... You could even, like, argue killing DK first. But SD, of course. Oh, they're going.
Oh, they want Matu. Scatter Blast, Matu. Starting to go forward a little bit. You can hear it, though. Rest of the team nearby. Ready for action if necessary. They've gone and just smoked up. We'll drop another trap. Go pop. Easy, I'm just poking. Little pokes here and there, seeing if they can bait anything out, as Liquid still searches to find this angle. OG, though, they'll back off a little bit. Looks like they're trying to decide, do they want to go back in? But of course, with nobody else showing, they have to suspect that Liquid is on this high ground, preparing for any sort of counterattack that they might need to do.
It's also like just a little too close to the Roche timing where, you know, everybody's lost a game because you get a little too excited. And you have this lead and you fight right before Roche and, you know, your support dies, head on a buyback. You would otherwise be able to fight and take the Roche and then you can't. So it's kind of like, in any game, you just think, all right, we'll just wait for the Roche spawn, but it's a very late spawn. 2 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that, almost max. So it's not going to be up anytime soon. It's going to be a pretty passive game until then, I think.
Because you said that we're going to have a fight break out immediately. You know that, right?
Well, OG honestly is doing a really good job poking. I like that they're not afraid and that they're constantly like threatening Liquid. Like, think about how oppressive that feels in a game where like your strongest hero is running forward. You know that like that hero, if they get gone on, it's a good fight for you. And so OG is just like, yeah, we're just gonna blink in and do damage to him and just mess with him, get him like a little bit low. So it's like, okay, maybe if we got him at 100% HP, it's gonna be good for you. But if they're at 60% HP because we just keep poking and we're not afraid of you, like, is that fight the same? It like makes you second guess yourself if you're Liquid. The fact that OG is playing with such cojones. Although they don't have to right now because, of course, Liquid is just sitting in their base.
So it's kind of, it's the idea of war, right? The idea of warfare is that you wear your opponents down to the point where they're forced to do something out of desperation. And you're forced to go and try to get rid of some of those resources. And this is, you know, they managed to get the hit off. They're going to get the disarm over onto the troll, though, and he just can't do anything here. miCKe's a big two, they'll already take out iNsania. iNsania buying back. You can see those Snapfire Kisses getting dumped up, but they have the BKBs. This will take down Misha, so there's no save available here for the side of OG should they need. Nice cookie out there coming out from Taiga. They get the kill over onto Zai. Lots of damage being placed over to Boxi. They'll get the kill on Boxi as well. Another buyback. This little Wisp wants to be a part of the fight, jumping back over onto Taiga. Nice scatter blast, but with Boxi tethering up, we'll be able to go. Finally help kill off Taiga. Yuraghi, big hits coming out. miCKe falls, Boxi falls. Yuraghi does so much damage at Matu. They have nothing to cancel out this stun here, and he is going to make it out. Looking very, very nervous on the way out.
I could see what Liquid were trying to go for in that fight. They were trying to chain stun onto BZM while miCKe jumped the backlines and jumped the SD, but unfortunately for Liquid, SD was able to get the imprison off, which saved BZM for long enough to turn and win that fight. But I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to do this like split fight thing where they have a few heroes dealing with a few different targets. And man, it's so hard to fight in Dota like that. It's way easier if you just have an Enigma or Tidehunter.
PCM.
Like, it's just being annoying. I love how aggressive he is with his poking though. It's like I said, it just instills so much fear in you as an opponent. It's like, is this guy like committing or is he not? Like he's remnanting in, so it kind of looks like it.
Is this guy just crazy? You know, you never know.
I don't think he knows. I think he's just feeling this game right now. And I know that's a lot of the time what Ember Spirit players do, so it doesn't surprise me.
Ooh, are we about to get an axe for Mr. Shadow Demon? Who's getting this? Is it AMMAR?
Nah, dude, that's a support. You don't give supports the Ags. He's the 5. He can buy his own.
He can't buy his
Hell
own in
yeah,
this
AMMAR.
economy.
My boy. Picking up that Ag. He's got that Scotty. I love that AMMAR is always like, I'm a carry. I'm not buying offlane items. Guy doesn't even have full boots.
He's too cool for brown boots, dude.
I love his build. I was watching one of his pubs the other day. I saw him go Butterfly Mars. And I was like, I can't tell if this is like terrible or the most Chad thing ever. And then he won and he's like
it's
ranked,
Chad then if he
he's
wins.
ranked 50. Yeah, it's like he just thinks totally differently about the game, which is
Scanning for enemies.
so cool to see.
He's got to be careful about that, though, because he can get punished for it.
Oh, yeah, we saw that. I mean, we saw that a bit in the previous series that they played. He got punished a couple of times.
A little bit.
But it's something that can be dialed back. Like, I think he's, you know, a diamond in the rough. I don't want to say diamond in the rough. He's on OG, but...
Yes, I don't think
he needs
to call him a diamond in the rough at this point.
A little bit of polishing, and this kid is scary. Like, seriously world-class scary. He already seems pretty nuts. But I think he even has potential, which is...
I mean, that's the fun thing about seeing these very young players, too, is that they haven't reached their max potential yet. They're still training. They're still learning. They're getting the chance to play against very large names. It's a pretty cool thing. Yuraghi taking a little bit of damage here, does have the Aegis, doesn't seem too concerned, just going to continue to poke. And like we said, it's coming down to who has the most resources in these fights, because they're pretty tight, it feels like, a lot of the times. But if you could chip away at their health, right? If you could start a fight where some of the heroes over on the side of Liquid are just a little bit lower, that can determine how everything goes down. Continue to poke. AMMAR, he's in. Gonna zip in with BZM. The long-range kisses. Oh, two on the back lines here from BZM. He just goes and cleans up both of them here. As now he's just going to keep moving around. Matu running for his life. They have that BKB on him. as I rolling around, trying to force them off of this tower. They'll go, and they don't have any creeps just yet, but they're on their way. So they'll take down the tower. They're going right for a finish here.
All right.
All right, boys. All right, I see you. Matu, the jump forward again from AMMAR. Look at this. Yuraghi's just like, all right, AMMAR, you do your thing. I'm just going to hit these buildings. I would like to win this game. Please and thank you. Cookie out for it. Another save over to the back lines.
Atlanta DK slow plus Scotty.
And he's so tanky here. Look at him. So, yeah, they're doing a lot of damage, but, like, this is just not looking good for Matu here as they have some big damage coming up from Yuraghi, coming up from BZM. miCKe jumping forward, has that BKB, but it's taking too much damage from the TA. They'll get Matu. Matu having to fight back now. Old Tumbiangi. But the damage is being done to the towers. The Ancient is exposed. I don't know what Liquid Matumbaman can do right now as miCKe, they're trying to find anything. They're trying to punish AMMAR. They can't even do it. miCKe will fall. A cookie hop forward. They've got their eyes again. They'll kill Matumbaman. And this is looking like this game is very much belonging to the side of
That's it.
OG.
Yeah, that's it.
There it is. There's the GG call. OG, they're looking real good.
I mean, these are just two exceptional world-class teams. And I think if you're Liquid looking at that game back, you just think, like, the way that OG played their team fights was